Welcome into this very special edition of the Garden Report, coming at you live from the nation's capital, where the Celtics just got destroyed, 116-89, as the Washington Wizards led throughout the entire game. I'm your host, Joseph Pavone. I'm joined by Nick Gelso to break this one down. Nick, we got a lot to talk about here, believe it or not. I know it was a blowout, but we still have a lot to talk about. For starters, Isaiah Thomas was not the Isaiah Thomas we've seen this entire postseason. It's fair to say this is his first dud of the postseason. I mean, after scoring 53 points, of course, things had to slow down a bit. But at the same time, yeah, he just didn't look himself overall. So my question to you is that the Wizards playing great defense, or did Isaiah just not have it tonight? Which one is it?
I think a combination of the two. I mean, obviously you saw from the press conferences we just were in that the Wizards threw three guys at him. They were overplaying them all night long. And Isaiah, John Wall actually said very intelligently, you know, usually Isaiah turns it up a notch in the fourth quarter. Well, the Celtics never led in this game. They were out of it in the first quarter.
Right. You know what? 6 players scored in double figures for the Wizards. Really handed it to the Celtics. A huge run in the first quarter, and that's been sort of the story of this series. But the only difference is they're not on their home floor, right? So the Celtics cannot let this happen again on Sunday in Game 4.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The Celtics have to come out fast, and they need to come out with intensity in Game 4 because, Josue, we said it tonight. Very easily, this could go back to Boston for Game 5 tied 2-2. We don't want to see that. The Celtics do not want to see that. They need to go up 3-1 on Sunday. It doesn't mean the series is over if they don't at a tie series going back to Boston. Still in a good position, but the Celtics would like to put a 3-1 hurting on the Wizards on Sunday.
Well, it felt like the Celtics also just didn't have any momentum. You know, I feel like they couldn't find their offense throughout the first half. And when things got out of hand, they just didn't have enough offense or firepower to come back in that second half.
It was one of those games where the rebounding deficiencies were so glaring because the Celtics' perimeter shooting just was not on tonight. They were not hitting, and that rebounding deficiency just destroyed them. And it's been the story of the season. When the Celtics score from the perimeter, the rebounding, even if they're getting out-rebounded, it's not quite as drastic as it is when they're not hitting shots. They just look disjointed all night long tonight. The lone bright spot was probably Al Horford.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Al Horford was a bit consistent. He stretched them out a bit from the outside. But one of the guys that was very consistent on the other side was Otto Porter.
Yeah, that was deliberate.
I mean, yeah, I think it was too. I mean, there were times where, of course, he found Isaiah down low. He scored a couple times on him. Isaiah actually brought that up after the game. And he also just felt very comfortable out there. How tough are the Wizards to beat when someone like that is going off? Because we know what Bradley Beal's going to do. We know what John Wall means to this team. But when you have someone like Otto Porter, I mean, how tough can this Wizards team be going into that Game 4 on Sunday?
It becomes very tough. And I mean, the one thing the Celtics have to their advantage, shockingly, in this series is when the Wizards go to their bench, they seem to really struggle, short of tonight. The Celtics bench has been really, really good, short of tonight. Tonight was an off night. It was one of those nights where the Celtics came in, I think, feeling a little comfortable with that lead. They didn't seem to have the intensity or be the chemistry or the body language that they did during those comebacks in games 1 and 2.
Right, and one of the top guys off the bench for the Wizards was easily Bogdanović. I mean, this is someone that we thought would be a factor in the series. He's had on nights, he had off nights. Tonight was definitely an on night. I mean, he was making threes. He was doing what they needed off the bench, because going into the series, let's face it, we've always talked about how the Celtics sort of had that in their favor, how they've had the deeper bench, but that didn't look like that was the case tonight. We didn't see that Terry Rozier that we saw in last game.
No, we saw that fighting Terry Rozier.
We're going to talk about that in part 2. We'll get there. We'll get there. But instead of drawing at Brandon Jennings, I was thinking he was going to do a little more of that, knocking down three-pointers and giving them that boost, but we didn't see that, unfortunately. It
is absolutely clear, and we'll touch on this in part 2 coming up, but it was absolutely clear tonight. These teams just don't like each other. If you didn't know before, you definitely know now.
Yeah, they really don't like each other. And actually, John Wall and Isaiah Thomas pretty much stated that in case people forgot. Yeah, just to let you guys know.
Openly.
Yeah, there's a reason why things got physical out here is because we really don't like each other in terms of the entire series, season, and just in general. You know what? Being here in D.C., it was interesting to see a lot of Celtics fans. I actually heard, the Let's Go Celtics chants.
Yes.
The Wizards chants started going in retaliation. It was funny seeing that back and forth atmosphere, but at the end of the day, when the Wizards were playing as strong as they were, those Wizards cheers eventually drowned out the Celtics fans, right?
They did, and hopefully those fans bought their tickets for tonight's game on SeatGeek, and if they didn't, we will be having them for Game 4. You could get a discount by downloading the SeatGeek app, going to the upper right-hand corner, the Settings tab, using the promo code Garden Report. There you're going to get a $20 rebate on your Game 4 NBA playoff tickets, Celtics.
And now we know it's going to be a Game 5. So
we know there's going to be a Game 5.
You can get ready
there
for
you
that,
go.
too.
So, shop with SeatGeek. We would appreciate it. We'll be back for part 2.
Absolutely. And we'll talk more about that physicality. The Kellys getting into it a little bit. It actually happened pretty much where we're standing, believe it or not. Right in
here.
the corner. Someone got shoved to the floor.
There's Kelly's foot. No, I'm just kidding.
One Kelly got pushed down. The other Kelly was very, very upset. We'll break it down in part 2. Don't go anywhere. It's coming up next.